Hello, Lars Erik. Thank you for accepting my invitation to facilitate a workshop for the International Society of Hypnosis.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm very happy to have you as a distinguished teacher to facilitate another masterclass webinar for International Society of Hypnosis. I know the title of your workshop is Hypnosis and Mental Training for Control, Regulation, and Development of Psychological and Psychosomatic Health. Before asking you a few questions about the workshop, I should say that I know that you are the person who coined the word mental training, and you started using this expression. How did you think about such a thing and created such a new idea and such a new concept?
When I started at Uppsala University in 1960, I was interested of hypnosis because hypnosis was not a part of Sweden. We had no hypnosis in Sweden, so I decided to develop hypnosis. Started the Swedish Society of Hypnosis '65, and we started at the university department for clinical and experimental hypnosis. However, at the same time, I was making research because I was making my dissertation about hypnosis. And one important part of that was self-hypnosis. So some of the experiments where I showed that all hypnosis is a kind of self-hypnosis. I didn't have to be present to hypnotize my students. They could listen to a recording that I made, and it got the same result, and so on. So self-hypnosis became the second part. But at that time, and still today, in the hypnotic societies, as you know, the hypnotic societies is only for clinical hypnosis. So self-hypnosis is not a part, and developmental hypnosis is not a part. So it became two directions. One direction was that I started to educate medical doctors and dentists and psychologists for hypnosis courses, which I made during 30 years. The second part was to turn to all people and invite them to start to use self-hypnosis. However, as there was a confusion about hypnosis. So I decided that I didn't want to call the area where I turn to everyone hypnosis. So instead, I called it mental training. But mental training is based on hypnosis. It's based on the in the mental room, but I don't call it hypnosis because I didn't want to confuse the medical area or psychological area of hypnosis.
Great, great.
So that's why it became hypnosis for clinical hypnosis for the experts in clinical areas, and mental training for all people.
Good, good. Thank you, thank you. And as I'm, let's say, collaborating with you in mental training, so I know what you're saying, and I know that the mental training that you invented is a systematic, long-term training of mental processes and mental skills. So it can be very helpful for everybody with any, let's say, expertise, or for any reasons, for educational purposes, for occupational purposes, in a sports hypnosis, and in business, and so on. So what are you going to teach us in the workshop? Is it going to be just a theoretical workshop, or you're going to teach us some techniques as well?
Yes, I hope to have a mixture of theory and practice, as mental training is a practical thing. The half of the word is the training, and of course the training is made by each person. I cannot do the training for somebody else. So it means that mental training is working like physical training. You have to do it yourself with the help of instructions and training programs to know how to do. But the actual thing is what you do yourself, which is very important.
Okay. And are you going to talk something about the flow state that we usually confront in sports or not?
Yes, because when we come into the definition of hypnosis, I should like to emphasize that hypnosis is not a method. Hypnosis is a state of awareness, a state of consciousness. And then we can use this state in clinical areas. We can use it in mental training. We can use it for different purposes. But also there are spontaneous alternative state of consciousness, like flow, as you said, which is a kind of hypnotic state. It has the same criteria as hypnosis. For instance, when I work with sport and I interview the athletes, when they talk about the flow state, they talk about the same phenomena that we have in hypnosis. Talk about this different way, sense of control, perceptual changes, that the golf hole is much bigger, or that the for instance, when I work with speed skiing, the national team in speed skiing, they say, if I didn't have the mental trainings that I can go into flow, then I couldn't experience the speed ski where they have 200 kilometers an hour in slow motion. Because if you have it in slow motion, you can do things that you cannot do in the same thing if you don't have flow. It's the same with when I work with Formula One or car racing, where they have 200-300 kilometers an hour. It's very important for them to go into this kind of hypnosis state, which we call flow, in order to, for instance, slow down the time. So you also have amnesia. I have some athletes who say, when I have flow, I don't remember anything afterwards. So there are many, many similarities, which means that I talk about flow as one of the different hypnotic states.
Okay. Great. And I know that you have more than 50 years of experience in this field. So I'm excited and I'm eagerly waiting for participating in your workshop. And I'm inviting all the ISH members and the members of the ISH constituent societies and all other people who are not yet an ISH member, but are psychologists or therapists and are interested in this field. Our workshops, our monthly workshops, are usually held at the third Wednesday of each month. But this time, we're going to have the workshop on Wednesday, August 23rd. So I'm inviting everybody to register for the workshop on ISH website. The workshop will be on Wednesday, August 23rd from 5 to 8 p.m. Central European Summertime. Is there anything else that you're going to say before ending the interview?
Yes, I should. I mean, even if we have 3 hours, we will just, we can just select some areas to go into. We cannot cover everything. So please let me know if there are some certain applications or some certain area or some certain questions that you are interested to have me to talk about.
Yes, I just want to, excuse me, please.
We can also, as I understand, we have a break in the middle. So we can also get possibility during the workshop to send in questions.
Yes,
and I can
exactly.
read it during the break and take it up in the second part.
Exactly, yes. And what our audience usually like, and I do like as well, is the workshop to be practical. And I know that your workshops are always practical with good techniques about flow state, about mental training. I know, I've been in your workshop, so I'm sure that it will be a very nice, interesting workshop. So I invite everybody to join us. Thank you very much, Lars-Erik. See you on August 23rd.
Thank you. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.